In this lesson, we are going to continue to work with positive and negative integers, but we're going to learn about a concept called absolute value, and then we're also going to talk about something called the opposite of number, and all this is related to, again, positive and negative integers. So let's briefly just review the do now that we went over in class. So I'm going to turn to that page. And A here, let's see, that was going to be -3. And B was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C was -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then D, of course, was just 1. Let's see, that's -10. That's important. All right, and I just want you to think about the distance that each of these numbers is from 0, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. So go ahead and turn to the next page. We have a little bit of vocabulary that I want to go over. So we talked about integers yesterday, but let's redefine what those mean. So if you recall, integers are all positive and negative whole numbers. Let me say that again. Integers are all positive and negative whole numbers. So no fractions, no decimals. And really, I think we should say in this definition that it also includes 0. So I'm going to add that, because 0 isn't positive or negative, but 0 is an integer. So you can see some examples of integers, again, just positive and negative whole numbers, including 0. Non-integers, we have some fractions here, we have some repeating decimals, so these are not integers. All right, now let's talk about this concept of absolute value. The absolute value of a number is the number's distance from 0. The absolute value of a number is the number's distance from 0 on number line. We write the absolute value as this with the 2 lines on either side of the number. So here we have an example of the absolute value of 4 is 4. Well, that seems kind of weird, but what's the distance between 4 and 0? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the absolute value of 4 is 4. But then if you look at the absolute value of -4, it's also 4. So that should make sense, because what's the distance from -4 to 0? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Distance is always a positive number, okay? So it doesn't matter what direction I'm coming from, I'm just looking at how far is it from here to here? Well, there's 4 spaces. How far is it from here to here? Well, it's 4 spaces. So absolute value is related to the distance from 0. It's always positive. I'm going to write this down. I'd like you to write this down. Need the pen. Absolute value is always positive. All right. So go ahead and just do the next 4 problems. Pause the video. It should just take a couple seconds, and then come back and check your answers. All right, check these answers out, and as you can see, all of the answers are positive. So it doesn't change a positive to a negative. If it's positive, it stays positive. If it's negative, it becomes positive. absolute value is always positive. All right, let's turn to the next page, please. And I just want to take you through a couple of practice problems, and then I'm going to let you do some work on your own. So this first one says label the number line with the following integers, then plot the following integers on the number line and label them using the designated letter. All right, so I need a -5. So starting at 0, I got -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. That goes there. And then we have 3, and that's going to go there. And of course we already have 0. And then -3 will go there. And I guess I was supposed to use the letters, so, and this was A, B, C, and D. All right, name 2 integers that are opposites. Okay, we haven't defined opposites yet, but opposite means 2 numbers that are the same distance from 0, but have opposite signs. So in this case, the 2 integers are 3 and -3 are opposites. So let's write that down. Name 2 integers that are opposites. We can say -3 and 3. And these numbers are opposites because they are the same distance from 0, but have opposite signs. So -3 and 3 are the same distance, but they have opposite signs. That makes them opposite. All right, so if you look at question 3, what is the absolute value of -4? We know, of course, that that is 4. I know that the absolute value of -4 is 4 because that's in there the distance from 0. And we're really just using the definition of absolute value there. So we know the absolute value of -4 is a positive 4 because that is the distance between -4 and 0. All right, so turn to the next page and complete these problems. I know they're kind of scattered here. You have questions A, B, there is no C. You have D and E, and then F is all along the bottom. So pause the video and work on these, and then come back and check your answers. All right, check the answers out, especially the explanation parts, and if you didn't get any of these, try to figure out where you went wrong, and after you finish the video you can ask questions if you need to. All right, go ahead and turn to the next page, and I have some more practice problems for you. So once again, pause the video and work on these, and then when you're finished, come back and check your answers. Alright, go ahead and check these answers out, and your explanations might be a little bit different than mine, but they still may be okay, so feel free to ask me if what you said is fine, if it happens to be different than what I said. So check these out, and once you do that, go ahead and turn to the next page. Alright, so here's a final question for you. True or false? If -4 equals 4, if the absolute value of -4 is equal to 4, and the opposite of -4 is 4, then absolute value and opposite are the same thing. Is that a true statement? So take a moment to think about that and just pause the video. So, of course, we know that this is false. And one way to think about it is I can give you an example that the opposite, let's say the opposite of 5 is -5. But the absolute value of 5 is +5. So you can see that opposite and absolute value in this case are not the same thing. It was just a coincidence that they were the same thing in the original statement, but they are not the same definition. Alright, so go ahead and turn the page. Complete the video assessment on the page that I provided to you. When you're finished with that, then you can start your homework. Let me know if you have any questions.